Okay, so it's Valentine's Day, and this is a little bonus video because I wanted to spend some time today talking about music that I maybe haven't talked about as much on the channel, but that I deeply love. I want to talk about music that to me is always connected with the idea of love. So I want to talk to you today about a musician that you've probably heard of. I'm talking about Dashboard Confessional. Now, this album, this is the best of the best. This is a greatest hits album. Came out like 2019, 2020, somewhere in there. I'm going to be honest, I hadn't listened to Dashboard in a long time. There were a few albums that I hadn't listened to. You know, the way music works for me is I fall in love with music and then it kind of rides in waves. So I never stop loving the music that I love, but I just get exposed to new bands. I want to hear that kind of music. I follow the trail where it goes. And then I come back and get to discover the bands I loved before all over again, relove the albums I already loved, and get to know new albums. So I've been a huge fan of Dashboard Confessional for a long, long time. Like before Dashboard Confessional really was a thing. I loved Chris back when he was in Further Seems Forever, and he was just starting to put out the Dashboard Confessional music back when Further Seems Forever, The Moon Is Down album was coming out. And I was a huge fan of Dashboard. Listened to everything up through about A Mark, a Mission, a Brand, a Scar. That was about when I fell off. So now I've been kind of trying to revisit those things. So I found this album, fell in love with the opportunity to have a lot of the hits all on one album. And I was like, well, if I'm just going to get one Dashboard album, this is the one. And you know the way it is if you're a vinyl collector is as soon as you get an album, they're like, and guess what's coming out next? So just to give you an idea, this album, right? This album came out and it's got Screaming Infidelities, The Swiss Army Romance. Again, I go unnoticed. It's got 20 of the biggest hits, including some of the things that I wasn't as familiar with, like Belle of the Boulevard, even though that's a big hit. And it's kind of all mixed in there, but obviously a lot of stuff I really did know as well. So I love this. And then this was sort of part of Dashboard Confessional's 20th anniversary as a band. Sorry about the glare, guys. It's really all coming off my computer screen. This was part of their 20th anniversary as a band, right? So I was like, man, this is the greatest thing ever. And then they said, guess what? Because it's our 20th anniversary, we are going to re-release a lot of our older albums on vinyl. And I was thrilled. Absolutely thrilled. And what they announced right away were a bunch of full-length albums. And so I picked up the Swiss Army Romance on vinyl. And these, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a big fan of colored vinyl. Just the different variants that you can pick up of these albums. A lot of times these albums will come out and there'll be, 5 or 6 different versions of the album. So for instance, the Greatest Hits album is this really great kind of creamy white, kind of classic white, black and white kind of look, which I really, really enjoyed. And then the Swiss Army Romance. So I picked that up. Now I'm gonna be honest. I was hoping to pick up the Places You've Come to Fear the Most. That was one that I listened to a lot, and I just couldn't buy it when it came out, so I missed out on it. So I made sure I didn't miss out on Swiss Army Romance. Now Swiss Army Romance is actually a little bit before the Places You've Come to Fear the Most. It's at 12 tracks, right? So Screaming Infidelities first appearing on this album, and I bought this and was just so pleased with this. Just really enjoyed it. And look at the beautiful coloring on the version that I bought. What a lovely variant. And so this was the first one that I bought, and I picked up this variant because I thought that was the most lovely of them. And then I picked up the next album I picked up. I got a little out of order, so I'm gonna come back to the next album I picked up because it's one of my favorites. But I did just now get The Places You've Come to Fear the Most. This came in the mail literally right before Snowmageddon here in DFW. So I got to listen to it yesterday, the day before, I think. I've had it for like 2 days. And this is the indie shop version. And I was able to pick this up on, and I need to do a video about this place here soon, SMLXL Vinyl. So SMLXL Vinyl is an online record shop that I buy a lot of stuff from. Because they have a lot of bands I love, bands that other people might not know as well, like Reliant K and Five Iron Frenzy. A lot of their earlier stuff is there. In fact, fingers crossed, SMLXL is going to put out a new version of our newest album ever. That's the only vinyl album by Five Iron Frenzy I'm missing right now. But I got this beautiful indie shop variant that's kind of almost like an egg, like a broken egg. You got the yolk, and then you've got the rest of the egg there, right? But very beautiful. I've been listening to this and just loving it, man. I listened to this album so much when I was younger, and it's been a joy to kind of rediscover it. So I've got The Places You've Come to Fear the Most. Definitely really enjoying that. Now, this is where it gets down to it, right? So for me, when we talk about Dashboard Confessional, what is my absolute favorite Dashboard Confessional? There's going to be two things. So number one is the So Impossible EP. I can remember distinctly going to Best Buy and picking up the So Impossible EP and the Summer's Kiss EP. I think I bought them on the same day, and taking them back to where I worked. And I worked kind of in this back office at this clinic at the time, and us listening to those EPs over and over again. The art was beautiful, the music was lovely, but the So Impossible EP especially just told such a full and complete story. And it was so beautiful from start to finish. The anticipation of a date, the date, that special like moment of connecting, it was absolutely gorgeous. And that was, it's like 19 minutes of perfection to me. So I listened to that over and over again. Now, I wasn't sure if they would end up re-releasing those. I actually posted on Dashboard's Twitter not long after they started re-releasing the vinyl. I said, man, you guys got to... Actually, it may have even been before that. I was like, you guys need to re-release the So Impossible EP and make the packaging look like the album, and have like that blue color vinyl. And they did. They teamed up with Mondo, who again, if I'm going to name the three places I bought most of my vinyl, it's been from Unoriginal Vinyl, SMLXL Vinyl, and Mondo. And those guys all do a great job. I'm a huge fan of all of those places. So Mondo, they primarily do soundtracks. They've done a few other things here and there, but most of what they do is soundtracks. And so they decided to re-release both the Summer's Kiss and the So Impossible EP, and exactly what I wanted, like with the blue vinyl matching the blue casing and orange for the So Impossible, or for the Summer's Kiss, excuse me. But they also decided to release a third 7-inch, which has Vindicated from the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack. Another song that I deeply love. And then on the back of that, there's 2 songs from the score by Danny Elfman. So I've actually got all 3 of those 7 inches coming pretty soon in the mail. I ordered them from Dashboard Confessional's website and kind of just on a hold right now. So when I get those in, I may do a little update video. But aside from those, the other thing that I loved the most was I loved Dashboard Confessional's Unplugged 2.0. I was recently listening to a podcast, and they were kind of calling it creepy because all the kids knew the music. But that was the thing that kind of set Dashboard Confessional apart from everyone else, is that when you went to a Dashboard show back in the day, and it was all acoustic, and like everybody sang with their whole heart, like everything they had, they sang to these songs, and it just made it a communal, like really special experience. And so I loved Unplugged 2.0 because it kind of captured that. I had the CD DVD combo, and I used to work at a Starbucks in sort of North Fort Worth, and I would work really early shifts, be there at open, and get home and just be so tired, or I'd work really late closing shifts. And the only way that I could, because I'm not a napper, the only way that I could kind of get myself to mellow out and take a nap would be I'd put on Unplugged 2.0, I'd close all the blinds, I'd lay on the couch and cover up while I listened to that live album, and I watched it, and I would drift off into a nice mellow sleep. So I love that Unplugged 2.0, and specifically, I remember the performance of Remember to Breathe, the way the drums came in. It was my first time to ever hear Remember to Breathe that way, and it absolutely floored me. I thought it was perfect. So I was so excited when they announced that the Unplugged 2.0 was going to come out on vinyl. And I was like, okay, of all the Dashboard albums, that's the one I got to get. And that was before the 7 inches were announced and all that kind of stuff. At the time, there was just these 3 vinyl that I just showed you had been announced. So I ordered So Impossible, and I've definitely enjoyed listening to this as well. And look at, again, this beautiful tri-colored vinyl that kind of matches the armband that Chris Carrabba popularized, really, that everybody was wearing them after that. So just so lucky to have a copy of those. Now, this year, Chris Carrabba was in a really terrible motorcycle accident during quarantine and broke both of his shoulders. And, for those of us who have been fans of him for a long time, we've been pulling for him, we've been praying for him, we've been hoping that he'd get better. And we got great news not very long ago, a couple weeks ago maybe, that first of all, he's been recovering. He's been reteaching himself how to play guitar. But really exciting is that tonight, on Valentine's Day, he's going to do a streaming concert, his first concert since the accident. And he's got kind of a different team that he's playing with, which I'm really, really excited about. Some different people to be on the live stream with him. So my wife and I are very excited that tonight we're going to sort of snuggle up in the living room, turn on Dashboard Confessional, and sort of be transported back. Dashboard Confessional gets a lot of attention for having these heartbroken songs, but again, songs like So Impossible, the whole So Impossible EP, to me those songs speak of love and romance, and I am super excited to hear that tonight. So on Valentine's Day, I hope that you get to be with somebody that you love, and I hope that you feel loved, and I hope that you get to enjoy some beautiful music like Dashboard Confessional. Go pick it up.